Hi friends, I'm Kim from CosmykStudios. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. Let's grab a cup of coffee, shall we? And let's go to the studio. Today I'm going to be taking a souvenir copper penny that is a pressed penny. This one, it's hard to tell on camera. I'm trying to see if you can see it. It is the Haunted Mansion from Disneyland. It does say Disneyland on the back. Hopefully you can read that. It's very anyway, all around the parks, Disney and California Adventure both have these machines that you can pop a penny into and you put 50 cents in there. I think they actually supply the penny. And then what you can do is you can press a penny into whatever you want. I have some Haunted Mansion ghosts. I have a Sally here that I did. So we're going to do something that's going to look kind of like this. She is both a keychain and a dangle. So anyway, without further ado, let me teach you how you can copper wire a penny and trap it in the confines of the wire. So what I have got here is I've got 3 pieces of 18 gauge wire. This is dead soft round. The problem is I thought I had square wire. I don't. I have round wire and I'm just going to have to make it work. I have a 20-inch piece of wire that is 26 gauge and I'm going to be using this for some wrapping and threading. And then this last little piece right here is about 6 inches long. And this is what I'm going to be using to affix the bead like I did here. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 wires and I'm going to tap them down so that they're at least even on one end. I know that when you're measuring this stuff out, it's not always 100% even. And I'm going to try and straighten them as well as I can. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to start to wrap with my longer piece of wire here so that I can get these pieces wrapped together. And I'm just going to wrap and wrap and wrap several times, stopping once in a while to take these and push them down like that. And we're going to wrap some more. There we go. Again, push it down. And I'm going to make sure that these pieces of wire are staying straight in my wraps here. Okay, looking pretty good. All right, and again, just wrap a few more times. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to really condense these down. Kind of hard. I got them spread a little farther than I thought I did. Condense them down, and I'm going to pinch and crimp. And I'm going to take that right there, like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a snip right here. And then I'm going to, again, do a little more pinching and tweaking here on that. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side. And now I'm going to take this and again, I want to make sure that these wires here are not like crossing over each other or doing any of the funny things that copper wire likes to do when you're trying to work with it. I'm going to just move this down a bit and I'm going to take this and I'm going to just start to form it here a little bit in the shape that I want here of this penny. And then I want to make sure that I'm putting it the correct side down. So this here is the section that's going to go in here. So I think what I want to do is I want to take one of these wires and go back this way, and one of these wires and go back this way to give it a little bit of a, there we go. Okay, and now I'm going to take these 2 wires here
kind of bring them across the front a little bit, like that. And then this last wire here, like this. I know, in theory. Now I am going to take these and I'm going to just give them a little bit of a bend out. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trap this in here right now while we're talking about it. And I'm going to just start to take my wire. I don't want it so trapped in there. I do and I don't, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this wire here and I'm going to start to wrap it. I do want to leave a little spot at the top though, so I don't want to get crazy here. Okay. Alright, if I do this up here and just kind of hold that like that, this just might work the way I want it to. So I'm going to take this wire here and I'm going to start to wrap. And this one's not going to be exactly like my last one because I am doing it a little bit differently than my last one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch these wires down. Okay, and I'm going to pinch this one and I am going to cut another length actually. And I'm going to take this piece around here, pull it and just tuck it into the back here. Like that. Okay. So I'm happy with that, but I do need another strand of 26 gauge. I like to keep my wire in these little snack containers that I find at the grocery store. And I'm going to get a piece that is about 18 or so inches long, right around there. There's no exact science on this. I'm going to be wrapping it around the bale. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this point is I have the front of it here. I'm going to squash down the wires, make sure nothing is sticking up and poking, and I have just a little tiny bit of space there at the top. And I want to pull forward the two top pieces of wire, which is a little bit tricky, but we'll get there. So this one here, and I think this one here. Everything else can be moved off to the side. So I'm going to take those two that way and take those two that way. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So these two here, I am going to be wrapping together to make the bale. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to start wrapping. In a second here, I promise I'm going to start wrapping. Okay, so we're just going to take these and we're going to just start wrapping. And I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to use my fingers to just push them down like that. And then we're going to give several more wraps on this because we want a really nice looking bale here. And again, push them down with my fingers. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I can actually clip this a little bit right there, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to again wrap it around the back. Just give it a little. There we go. I'm going to pinch these wires down. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to use my finger to give it the shape of the bail. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to push them through this little space that I left at the top. And I see a little wire poking out over here, so I'm going to get in there and I'm going to take care of that. There we go. Just tuck it in like that. We don't want to poke anybody. So I'm going to take these two wires here and I'm going to just bring them through like so. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take one this way and one this way, and I am going to snip back here, little piece there, little piece here, and I'm just literally going to take these pieces and I'm going to bring them around and tuck them. Just tuck them into the back. We don't need them and we don't want them poking anybody. So we're going to tuck them, tuck that one in there, and we're going to bring this piece around, and we're going to tuck it back here, and if it's too long we can trim it. It might be a little bit longer than I want it right there, but actually that's fine. Okay, so we have this nicely tucked back here, and you can still read Disneyland. We have this nicely tucked over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire here that's closest to the edge, and I'm going to just give it a little bit of a twist out like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I go about here. I'm just going to give it a little twist out like that. And then I'm going to take these. Let's see. I'm going to leave the two longer ones alone for now. And I'm going to take the shortest one, and I've got one of these little, the tools that you need. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I've got round nose pliers, flat nose pliers that don't have any teeth, and I have these rounded pliers, and then I have this little pinchy set of pliers and a flush cutter. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to start. You could do this with your finger if you want to. And I'm just going to start giving this a little bit of a guide here, because I would like to have a cute little spiral. And actually I spiraled that in a little more than I wanted to. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to basically take it and finagle it however you want it. This is actually not quite the spiral I wanted, but it's okay. This is fine. And I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to start to just give it a nice little twist here. And again, you can do whatever you want here. You can do it with your finger and just give it a nice little rounded . And then once you get it here, what you can do is you can kind of use these to give it a little more shape, pinch it however you like it. I'm going to use the flat ones to kind of flatten this down a little over here. And then we're going to take these two here. This one's a little bit bent. I think it's going to be okay. I could probably cut these off right there. And I think that'll be fine. Just cut them off short. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to just start bending them back in towards the middle here. I just keep kind of resetting them on here, on the little pliers here. I just keep kind of resetting them. Bring that in like that. And again, you have all these cute little spirals here, and you can push them and you know, finagle them however you want. This penny is in there. It is not going anywhere. If you have any concerns, you could always do some more wrapping around there, but now I'm going to move on to the little stone here. Let's move all the rest of the stuff off to the side. First I gotta find the little hole there. Okay, so once I find the hole, I like to thread one side, and then I like to bring the other side around and thread it back through. So I'm going to hold this like this, and I'm just going to use these to pinch and pull, and now you have this little bead pretty tight in here. I'm going to use 2 pliers now to kind of just pull it on either side, make it tight, and then I'm going to just take it and I'm going to put it right here on the front where I want it. Okay, once I figure out where I want it, I'm going to bend these backwards away from me, and I'm going to just take, and I'm going to find a spot on the one side where I can just kind of poke the wire in. It's hard to do sometimes because you can't see. The wire is very, very thin wire. I'm going to pull this, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this there we go. Okay, so I'm going to set that right there. And I'm going to come back through here. I thread it back through, and I'm going to use the pliers to pull it tightly through. And then I'm going to bring this one back through as well. Okay, and then I'm going to okay, camera died, battery died. So we're going to thread it back through one more time, giving it a nice tight pull here. This one we're also going to thread back through one more time, giving it another nice tight pull. And then on these, literally all we need to do is trim them. Tuck those wires in where you just trimmed. Let's see, where is that? Sucker's right over here. And we're going to put that one in. I'm going to skip that one. Actually, we could probably even cut that one off a little bit more. Okay, there we go. And we're going to take it, tuck it down. There we go. Okay, so here is the front of it now. Little bead on the front of it. Bail is nice and straight. People, this is not going anywhere. That penny is in there. Okay, and now the last step, literally last step, is to take your jump ring, load the bail onto the jump ring. Hopefully we can, yep, there we go. We're going to put this little one on here. We're going to drop this on. There we go. And all we need to do is push them together like that. I do like to go back and forth a couple of times with this, with the pliers, just to make sure that they're in there. I keep slipping on the left-hand side. Okay. Okay. There we go. I know I only have black keychain hardware. I don't have any copper, but I do think it's a nice contrast. I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. And now I have 2, because my first video didn't work. But anyway, this is just a nice simple way to take a simple 50-cent
um, super cheap little and level it up. And now that we can't get pennies anymore, I think that this is just so adorable. I really hope you enjoyed my video today. I really appreciate your time and your support of my channel. If you like my content, I do hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel. Please like this video. It does help my channel grow. I would like to take my little Cosmic Studios and grow it into a big galaxy. With your help, I can make that happen. We can make that happen. Anyway, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. I do have an Amazon affiliate link set up, so anything that is in here, if I can link it, I will link it. Just so you know, if you buy off of my link, I do get a little bit of a percentage back, and that also helps a lot, and I appreciate that as well. Thank you for your time here today, and I hope that you will consider doing a craft like this. Go forth and release your inner artisan. And in the future, I think I might start selling kits, not the pennies. I don't have that many pennies, but I will sell the kits so that you could actually make your own little keychain, wrap something that you have, some sort of a something that you have that you would like to um, wrap in copper. Anyway, they're not up on my website yet, but they will, and I will leave my website in the comments below. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.